Drape the chairs in white sheets. We bought them for the first home we made on that busy street. 12 years of house keys. They don't work anymore except to unlock doors in my memory. The storm came in without telling us it would. Blew down all the trees, pulled up the roots we thought we'd planted for good. Oh, take my hand, we can't go back to where we were. But if I close my eyes, I can see you standing there in that first house through the screen door, leaning in and whispering to me, I'll see you inside this waking dream. Unmarked boxes fill my mother's house. What's left of us outside of them, we're finding out. Baby on my chest, kids sleeping on the floor. They said if God closed a window, he would open a door, but the storm came in without telling us it would. Blew down all the trees, pulled up the roots we thought we'd planted for good. Oh, take my hand, we can't go back to where we were. But if I close my eyes now, the lines begin to blur, and we're right there at the screen door as we used to be. I'll see you inside this waking dream. Oh, take my hands, we can't go back to where we were. Take my hands, we can't go back to where we were. Take my hand, take my hand, take my hand.
Wow! Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to be able to play for someone. So thank you.
That's so beautiful. Welcome to Entrepreneur Talks podcast, run by Women Flicks. This is amazing. Thank you, Laura, for sharing your song. It makes me feel so honored. And I was feeling like I'm in the fields running and seeing the sunset, and it's my man on my side holding my hand. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I am just so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. This is amazing. Your voice is so contagious. I know I want to listen all your songs. I'm like, oh, this is now so beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Gosh, that means a lot to me, especially right now in COVID, with it's just hard to play out, and you don't get to be with people to play music. So I feel so I feel grateful to play for you. So thank you.
For me and for everyone that is watching, because we are live. So we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So this is amazing for everyone that is watching us. This is Lora Kelley, and so before I say anything wrong, tell me, which country? Where are you right now? Where do you live?
Yes. Right now I am in America. I am in Virginia. I am about 2 hours, 2.5 hours south of DC in Charlottesville. So that's where I live.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how is the weather there? It is.
Well, right now it's beautiful. It's cold, but it's beautiful. We're still in late fall before we move into winter.
Fabulous.
So,
That's really good. And you are a singer, right?
yes.
This is beautiful. A mom of three, correct? Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, I have 3 children, 11, 8, and about to be 2.
Oh, so beautiful. I was
Yeah.
seeing your profile somewhere, Facebook, I think, or Instagram. They're so lovely. They're
Oh,
beautiful. And your husband as well. You all
thank
blessed, grateful for get to know you. So this is amazing. I'm speechless because I had this beautiful song. What is this? Why did you choose this song to bring to us today?
Thank you. Yeah, so I wrote this song around, well, really around this time last year. I went up to Asbury Park, New Jersey, and I recorded this song. So it's been a year since I have recorded it, and I wrote it during COVID, during early COVID. We sold our house. My husband is a photographer, destination photographer. And so as COVID hit, obviously we were not working. And I
Mm,
had a 12-week-old baby. And it was traumatic as it was across the globe. So I'll just
yeah,
talk about my particular thing, but I know for everyone it was deeply
that-
traumatic. And so we decided to go ahead and sell our house because we just weren't sure how long this was going to last. And my mom lived very close to us, so we moved in with her. And one day I woke up in the morning and I felt like I was back in our old house. I was very confused about where I was. And I call that's like a waking dream where you're kind of in between these two realities. And so I decided to write the song, and I liked it because I think we're still kind of in that place where, so much of us would like, some of us would like to go back, or parts of how we were, we'd like to go back to. Some of it we're glad that has things have shifted.
yeah.
Um, but I just loved that there's a lot of things I couldn't take with me, but I could offer my hand to keep
Yeah,
going.
so
So that's
beautiful.
why I brought it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember between the words that is you talking about your mother, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank
I'm gonna go. Are you on Spotify? All these places, right?
Yes, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and you can find me on my website, lorakelley.com, and all my music's there. There's a music video for that song, and there's a song that I wrote a music video for, or did a music video for, called Mama's Kitchen. So that's my other one
Oh
that I like.
yes, I saw that video. I
Yes.
that one, but I didn't. The other one is not from this song that you just brought to us is not familiar for me, but it's gonna be now. And every
Yeah,
time I will sing, I will listen, I will smile. I'm like, she sang with me for me.
I did. I
Oh,
did.
so
Oh, thank you.
beautiful. So, and it's tell me a little bit about your journey when it comes to music. When did you start to sing?
I have been singing since I was really little. I just loved it. One of my first, I think, if I was going to say a record that I memorized, was The Wizard of Oz. Absolutely every song from The Wizard of Oz. I have a distinct memory of laying down on the tile in my parents' house with the music open, trying to memorize all the words to "If I Only Had a Brain." It's a little bit, it's like a lot of words. And I was determined I was going to get all the words and was going to get them in order. And so I memorized every song from The Wizard of Oz, and just
Wow.
I loved the imagination. I loved singing. So, and
So,
writing.
yes, I know you released the album this spring. Yes,
Yes. Yeah. I released it in April of
20,
2021.
20,
Oh my gosh. I can't,
21.
crazy that we're in 2021. It just
How
blows.
that went for you as a business? Because this is your business. You sing and you write your songs as well, as I understood, right? How
Yeah.
did how did
Yeah.
you manage to open like to release the album in the middle? Because there we go, April. We're still there we go. We're still on COVID. I don't know when it's
Yes.
gonna finish. April was quite fresh from the lockdowns and so on.
It was. It was. So I am a singer-songwriter, and I also do trauma-informed life coaching. So I have people that I meet with every week and work with them around trauma and coaching, and story work is kind of what I call it. So those are kind of the two things that I do, and I feel like they speak to each other. And so I felt like, I don't know. I just took a risk for this record. I had been wanting to do a full length record, and I wasn't going to let COVID really stop me. And I felt like it was an important artifact, if you will, for me to put out during that time to, I think, mark the time for us
Mm-hmm.
in the season that we were in. And so I like took out a little bit of a loan, and I paid it back, but that's kind of how I that's how I did it.
Yeah.
And the music business, making money in the music industry is challenging. But for me, it was sort of a gift to my community and to myself and my family to
That's
do that.
really good.
So yeah,
Oh, that's really good. So you already paid back. That's really good.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because your music is really beautiful. Like I said, your voice is now in my ears. So I need to, when I switch off our conversation, I need to go and find your album and add to my Spotify, because it's really and comforts me. I don't know, and I'm willing to listen the other ones. How many songs is in the album?
I have, oh gosh, that's a good question. I think it's 11,
Mm.
10, 10 or 11. I did a little bonus track that I wrote for my daughter when I was putting her to sleep. It's kind of a little bit of a response to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's called I Will Fly.
Ah,
So I I love Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's a beautiful song, and I sing it all the time, and I teach it to my children. And while I was listening to that song or singing that song, I got a little frustrated with Dorothy's sort of forlorn longing. And so I readjusted, like I wrote a different version to my daughter that was like, you're going to get over the rainbow and you get to dream and do all the things you hoped that you wanted to do, versus I hope
oh,
at some point I can
beautiful.
do it anyway. So there's a bonus track, and that kind of throws me off on how many songs there are. I can't remember.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's really beautiful. And being, it's like, I just can imagine it must be so hard to carry on with your business and your three children, and then in COVID and without your house. How did you manage yourself during these times? What was the
Yeah, it's a good question. Yes, a lot of walks. I think a lot of care, a lot of, I think a lot of when you deal with trauma. So I've done a lot of work in trauma, narrative informed trauma care. And we first, when as COVID was starting, we documented every day of our lives on both on photographs, because my husband is a photographer, and also in writing. So I spent the first, I think, 60 plus days of COVID documenting and photographing and taking evidence and account for how our days were spent, both the emotional impact and the physical impact of what COVID was for us. And I think that really helped. And then at some point, had to step into the present moment and allow for the trauma of that to sort of to be codified as what it was, and then to begin to cast a vision for the future and the new space that we were in, and to again allow ourselves to dream, allow ourselves to hope, and to just continue to press forward. And so that's what I did. I had a lot of support. Our family was in town, and so that was helpful as well.
That's really good. That's a really good way, because you just, this strategy that you just mentioned, to write down all the, like, every single day and take pictures. Some people maybe do some videos. This is quite interesting, because I'm thinking now, if we're going to go on lockdown again, because we don't know, we never know, we don't know what is going to coming. So I'm probably going to do that. Thank you so much, Laura, because
Yeah.
I think it's gonna help, like, to, like you said about the trauma, because there we go. this brought trauma to people. This
Mhm.
definitely, this season has been the hardest season for everyone, right? And be able to look back and consciously say, yes, this can become a trauma, or this can be something that we can be grateful, and not looking back as a bad thing but a good thing, no matter how hard it was, right?
Yeah, and I think to tell the full scope, like to tell the full truth about what what beautiful things have come out of the time that we spent very close to one another. I mean, we didn't have access to other people, so we spent a lot of time watching movies and hanging out and playing games. So there were a lot of beautiful things, and to name those as true. And also there were a lot of really hard things that we had to grieve and will probably grieve again. And so I think both to bless
Yeah,
the and the beauty as being able to hold both of those things as being simultaneously true without having to negate one or the other just allowed us anyway to stay integrated, to say like, yes, gosh, today was a really lovely day. We took my husband, as a photographer, he pivoted very quickly and started selling garden boxes, and we were selling herbs off the side of our porch and just trying to make money and trying to like keep ourselves busy and active. And so we would take trips as a family to the cedar the cedar garden place up like an hour and a half away, and it was springtime and all the trees were blossoming, and John Prine had just died. Oh gosh, it's gonna make me cry thinking about it.
oh,
And so we were listening to John Prine in this truck, all of
oh
us
my
and my
God.
mother driving to get these cedar boards. And so it was sad, but also just tremendously beautiful to share that experience together. So anyway, that is kind of how I have coped. It's a long, long
Just
spiel, but
one, just one thing apart, like away from our conversation.
yeah.
As you know, I'm in London, and now with this, on this season, the outdoors, it gets very dark. So I'm seeing like I'm very dark.
Oh,
I'm People will look, oh, Laura is so much light, but y'all are no light. But I need to switch, so that's why I've been moving around. I'm so sorry.
oh, it's okay. And honestly, my cameras, I can only see myself. You're frozen, and my other camera is frozen.
Oh,
So I
really?
am talking to you, and I can't tell that you're moving. I am. So if
Oh,
it looks like I
really?
am not tracking with
Oh,
you, that's why.
oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's technology. It's so
Yeah,
real.
it
I
helps.
mean,
It
yeah.
happens. And my dog, on top of that, my dog is just there. I don't know if you heard him already, but
I did hear him, but it's okay. I have 3 dogs, and I'm surprised they haven't made a racket in the background yet. So.
oh wow. And tell me another thing about your music. Who or for who do you sing? You sing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. The first track on the record is called My Dear, and I wrote that probably 8 years ago. And I was in the very early stages of like early parenting, early mothering, transitioning from, an adolescent into
Mhm.
early adulthood, newly married. And I really felt the bind that I think a lot of women feel between what we're called to, what we feel called to in our souls, to be creative, to make contribution, to stay ourselves, to be our individual
Right,
selves, also have our children and our families and take care of them and be present with them. And so I wrote this little song called My Dear, and it's basically like, you're doing good work. And so I kind of, when I started writing this record, I really wrote it for moms of children who are kind of in this middle stage of life. I'm 30. I just turned 37 on Friday, and are kind of straddling the balance between, I'm not in my 20s anymore, and I'm also not in my 50s yet, and so I'm kind of in this middle space. And so that was my audience, but I mean, I hope it speaks to anybody who is caring for other people and trying to care for themselves. And so,
right.
Yeah.
Yes. And thank you so much for this. And while I was listening, I felt a little bit, because sometimes I love music, but I don't understand everything about music. But by the guitar and the type of the song sounds a little bit, how do we call, countryside, country music?
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, sorry. Yes. Genre wise, it would be considered Americana or country Americana. Um so I tend to lean more towards the Americana genre, and
Mm,
I lean a little country because I'm from Texas. I grew up in
that's
Texas.
right.
Oh.
Okay. That's right. I could
Yeah.
feel that. I could feel that.
Yeah.
Texas, Texas
Yeah.
girl. Yes,
I
I
haven't
love
been
it.
in I haven't lived in Texas for 15 years, but it stays with you. So,
Yeah, that's right. And and just imagining you with the boots as well, the Texas boots. I love them. Ah, it's been like
uh,
more than 10 years that I don't have ones. I need to buy ones. I used to have
oh,
ones and I love them all the time. It just brings that feeling. I don't know. I never been in Texas, but I just love that. And
yeah,
the
I love a pair of boots. It's
and the
true.
hat and the
Yes, and the hat. Yes.
okay, so it's a mix of countryside and the other, you mentioned a name of a singer, right?
Oh, it's so the genre is called Americana.
Americana.
Americana roots is kind of the vibe, and that it can country these well, there's different kinds of country genres. Anyway, that is too complicated,
Yeah.
but
No, no, no.
Americana is kind of is where I fall, I think,
Ah,
generally.
fabulous, fabulous. And one more thing regarding like your journey as an entrepreneur, what would you like, how do you describe yourself? What is the, because you are a singer, you are a coach, you are a mom, you are a friend, you are a sister, you are a daughter, you are a wife. How do you describe? Because you said you've been singing from since you were very young, and then you start to do like concerts, I believe, even if it was in your area or just in your neighborhood. But
Yeah, my mom used to I had karaoke tapes, they used to have karaoke like CDs and tapes, and so every time we would go see my mom and her friends, she would have me sing karaoke country. I think like Shania Twain. Did a lot of
oh
Shania
yes,
Twain.
I
So
know
I would sing for
that.
all her and her friends, like you know, make me feel like a woman. I don't know. I mean, Deanna Carter, did I shave my legs for this? Like those kinds of songs. So I think I've always been entrepreneurial. I've worked for some people, but I have always enjoyed working for myself. And I think what I've realized over time is it takes the development of discipline in a lot of different ways, but I think the most important way that it requires discipline is to discipline and care for your brain, to care for
So
your
true.
mind. And because everything we do comes out of our thoughts. So, like, whatever we think creates our emotions, and our emotions are what drive all of our actions, all that we
So
do.
right, so true.
So, I think caring for your brain and trying to get in there and get a sense of what do I think? How are my thoughts either helping me, like serving the direction that I'm hoping to go, or how are they sabotaging
That's right.
me?
And
So
how I can make it better, or what is the route that I can look for it and increase my health through my brain, because it's very important.
absolutely, it's so yeah, our brain is like one of the most powerful things we have, and it to some degree creates our reality around us, and it's yeah, it's just really it's very powerful. So I think the more I've stepped into brain care and people's self-care, that kind of thing, yeah, I've become more successful in terms of being able to really determine what it is I want to be doing and to be able to execute it well consistently. So
Right, right. And in your coaching business, Laura, what made you jump on that industry as well, like working with people with trauma? What is the reason behind this coaching?
I I find that a lot of people in the world feel stuck. Like they get kind of stuck in a certain place. And I believe we were made for community. We were made to be in the presence of other people, having other people bear witness to our stories and to our faces, and to help us kind of discern and process through our lived experience in the world. And there's a lot of research that suggests that that sort of right brain alignment across from someone else can really do a lot to help heal our brains and to allow us to regulate our affect, allow us to, yeah, just come back to an integrated space. And so I myself have benefited. I've been doing narrative informed trauma care since 2016, started working and training in that and coaching. And yeah, it benefited me tremendously. And so I wanted to offer that to other people. And it's such a privilege. It's such a privilege to sit across from people and watch them literally change,
Yeah.
Move from a place where the trauma of their life or their experiences have had such a negative impact on how they live in the world, and to be able to move from that to this like beautiful, flourishing space. There is absolutely nothing better in the
Yeah.
world than
Yeah.
that.
That's
So,
very beautiful.
yeah. So that's how I got into it. That's why I did
Yeah,
it.
good, good. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So now I only gonna ask you no two things. I think no two or one.
Yeah.
Two. One is to let the everyone knows how they can get in touch with you, where they can find you, and then another one, if you would like to end again with another song, I would love, or the same song, I don't mind. Would
Yes,
be
I can totally
okay.
do that. I'm thinking in
Uh,
my brain, I'm like, oh, which songs should I play? Yes, so you can find me on Spotify. You can find me on iTunes. You can find me on YouTube. You can connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me on Instagram. I think that's everything. Or you can find me on my website. It's lorakelley.com. It's not spelled how you would think it ought to be spelled. It's Lora Kelley, KELLEY.com. And yeah, so that's how you can find me. And I will play Mama's Kitchen if that's okay. That's my
Oh,
other.
yes, yes.
Okay.
And before you start, I just want to say, and once again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for this amazing conversation. And all your information will be on the description of the podcast session today. So anyone can look for the links and get together connected with Lora Kelley. Thank you, Laura. Let's
Thank
do
you. Thank
it.
you so much. Okay, let me just make sure that my guitar is in tune, because there's nothing worse than listening to a song and having it be out of tune. Okay.
Mama's Kitchen?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make it through Mama's Kitchen. Yes.
Oh my good.
Deep in the summer when the grass is high, I long to take a drive down the Natchez Trace to see her in the glow of that warm stove light, pushing Rue across the bottom of that lake crusade. She tells me straight but not to worry, there's more to time than just the hurry. Slow it down for a minute in Mama's kitchen. Every hungry mouth is welcome to those warm, ripe tomatoes cut straight from the vine on that hand-me-down tablecloth laid out and freshly ironed. When the world is on your back, taking more than it's giving, there's always a place and a plate for every child. When there's flour on the doorknobs and not a pot left clean, she'll say, just leave the dishes, girl, come sit and chat with me. This road to love is narrow, but if you walk it, you will find there's beauty in open hands and magic in the hidden light. She tells me straight but not to worry, there's more to time than just a hurry. Slow it down for a minute. In Mama's kitchen, every hungry mouth is welcome to those warm, ripe tomatoes cut straight from the vine on that hand-me-down tablecloth laid out and freshly ironed. When the world is on your back, taking more than it's giving, there's always a place and a plate for every child. And Mama's kitchen, those handwritten recipes sent in the mail to me, though the words have faded now. When I cook, I'm back with her in Mama's kitchen. So bring your hungry heart, it's welcome. There's jars of pickled okra, gumbo and warm bread. This bottle of chilled white wine tastes better with a friend. When the world is on your back, taking more than it's giving, there's always a place and a plate, so come on inside to Mama's kitchen. Ooh.
Once again, thank you. Oh, it's so
Thank
beautiful.
You so thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Myself, I thank you in name of Women Flakes and that's so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And okay, we came to the end, but I would love to stay here to talk, keep talking or keep listening you more than talk because I really love your songs.
Thank you so much. We'll have to do it again. This has been so fun. I really appreciate it.
It's the first time that I actually had a singer and singing for us. Oh, this is amazing.
I love that.
I will want more. So on our, I'm going to invite you straight away just now so you don't forget, and I will get back to you. But we are on season 10. On season 12, I'm going to do a special with a lot of guests together. This is going to be amazing. And I would like to invite you. And you're going to open one of the sessions just singing for everyone, not just me and you, but maybe around 10 people on the call. All entrepreneurs from different seasons go all together.
That'd be amazing. Thank you so much. I really, I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And you take care. And I'm sure we're going to keep in touch.
All right? Sounds. All right. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.